Guys, I truly believe that cold emails are going to die soon. And if you're running cold emails for your agency or you're running cold DMs, you're headed in a direction that I just want to save, and I want to give you a solution. Because cold emails, if you guys have been running it, I've been running it. I've been teaching cold emails. And the thing that we've been seeing with cold emails is that responses are just dying. And on top of that, when you run cold emails or cold DMs to somebody that knows no idea about who you are, and you don't have any sort of content, you have no way for them to know who you are as a brand, as a company, that's when you attract the worst type of clients and you sign on the worst type of clients. And usually you have to sell them on a crazy guaranteed offer. Like if you guys look at the competition with cold emails or cold DMs, is you're going after people that are doing like a pay-per-close, right? And it's only if you don't have a brand and it's just a cold email, then they have to base your credibility and your value based off of the offer. And so the only way to win this game is to come up with a crazier offer. That's the only way to win this game. If you guys, I've probably sent 1 million cold emails at this point. If you guys could tell me otherwise, please tell. Like I want this to be a conversation. I want people to actually get to a point where we talk about what is just the best way to build an agency and to get appointments and to get new clients. And for 3 years, I've been doing cold email, I've been doing cold outbound, and so I am the person to talk about this. And I truly believe that it has a very small time and place for it. If you're just starting out, you have no money, it's the only option to go. But if you have even a little bit of capital, and I'm not even talking much, maybe $1,000 to spend a month, which you're probably already spending on cold emails, and you use it in a way that's more effective, which I'm going to show you in this video, I truly believe that this is where it's headed. And so we're just going to dive straight into things and talk about just a new way. And I'm recording this because I want you guys to not have to struggle with getting clients, and I obviously want you guys to be able to set appointments. So this is the new way, right? And the full guide to set appointments for your agency in 2023, moving into 2024. All right, so here's the problem, right? Which I was already mentioning. You're speaking to cold prospects who have no idea on who you are and what you do. Like they have no idea. They have no idea who Caleb is. They have no idea who John is, and they don't know, like, or trust you. It's the opposite of what marketing is supposed to be, which is building trust and having people know, like, and trust you. Except now we've done so many cold emails and cold DMs that people are coming to you because of your offer, and this usually attracts the worst type of clients, right? On top of that, the results are just becoming less. Right? You have no way to predictably and consistently get new appointments or clients because with cold outbound, either your accounts get blocked, either you run through an entire list in 2 days if you're setting out good volume, and it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Come up with a different offer every 2 days, every 5 days, right? So there's no longevity. It's a very short-term thing, guys. If you're running cold emails, cold DMs, and this is coming from the guy that has been preaching cold outbound. But if what I realize is a short-term game. You will eventually burn out, or you could do this and it will still work. But you look back in like 1 or 2 years and be like, what did I just do? Like I wasn't building a long-term asset. I wasn't building a thing that was compounding. And I realized one of the things that I want to do with my marketing and sales is just build an actual brand, and a brand compounds where my efforts, I could put the same amount of effort next year and get way more of a reward because I'm working on the right things, right? And cold emails, cold DMs, outbound, there's none of that. There's none of the compound effect that you would get, right? And for that reason, you lack sales calls or quality sales calls, right? You could be getting a lot of sales calls. Don't get me wrong with cold emails, but a lot of these guys are going to either no-show, or when they hop on, they have no idea who you are, and you have to take an hour just to explain who you are as a company. And then when you pitch them, they're like, well, I just met you, right? I have no idea who you are. Like, send me some more case studies, and then you probably never hear from them ever again, right? And this is what every guru is teaching you. And I was teaching you. I mean, to be quite frank, I was teaching you guys this, but I am here to give you guys a different way to do this, right? I realize this is very inefficient, and like I said, there's a time and place for it. But if you're above 10K a month, or if you have money to spend on advertising, you're wanting to do things that are long-term, then this is the way to go, right? So the current state of the market, like I told you, we're finally reaching that state of saturation. Right? I believe this is what it was. Like 2 years ago, this would have worked fine, but we're slowly moving into a state of saturation where there's so many people in the agency space that are just hopping on and being able to send out as many cold emails and cold DMs. And so everyone's sending the same script, the same offer to the same people. And for that reason, it's just becoming saturated and it's becoming very loud and noisy. And for that reason, you're not going to be able to see as good results as you once was, right? So either you can become a victim or you can choose to not follow the masses, right? And this is a decision and choice that you can make right now is like, I will not choose to follow what everyone else is doing, which is cold email and cold DMs and doing the same exact offer and just spamming people, right? Those days are over. They're over for me. I'm not doing cold. And you can just do it the other way, which I'm going to show you here. All right, so the agencies who do not build an ecosystem of buyers, which is basically you building your brand and you building an audience through content, right? And their own community of loyal prospects who will die for you. Not die for you. Maybe not have prospects that are going to die for you. But the agencies who don't build this type of ecosystem and community of loyal prospects and buyers will die out. And you guys will eventually be the first ones to go. Let me repeat this. If you don't build an actual brand and you don't drop content and you don't find a way to get leads coming inbound to you and you're always having to constantly chase prospects, you will eventually, you'll be the first agency to die. And I'm saying this from experience. I've seen so many people die out because they have no brand. They have no way except for doing a cold email and a crazy offer. And because the offer is so crazy and because they're attracting the worst type of clients, they eventually might get a sale or two or even five. And then they have to refund those clients because they came out with a crazy offer and a crazy guarantee. And it's like, the reason why that happened is, well, one, doing the wrong channels, attracting the wrong clients, and then like postponing the problem and not building an actual brand and real marketing. All right. So if you're going to do business in 2023 and you're going to run an agency in 2023 or 2024, this is starting to become like, you have to do this. It's not even a choice. You're going to have to do this if you want to win in business. Right. And don't take my word for this, right? This is what I've learned from Alex Hormozi. This is what I've learned from people that are teaching how to do cold emails or cold DMs. But they're actually doing something else, which is, you guys have seen it, like The Rock, his tequila brand, like everyone is blowing up because they're building a brand, right? And they're understanding how important it is to build an actual audience and how to convert that audience. Right. And Alex Hormozi is the best example in our space where I even asked ChatGPT, like, what's Alex's thoughts on direct response marketing versus like real long-term branding with content? And he just said, like, there's a shift happening in the market. And you guys can, pause this video and watch this. But basically what he was saying is that I took a line from this is you need to be focused on building goodwill in the market. And he states this, that goodwill compounds faster than revenue. And so if you're providing goodwill to the market, which is by recording these videos and providing value, that compounds faster. That will get you more people and will compound. So that, let's say 3 months down the line, when you're consistently dropping content, you'll have way more people listening to you and way more prospects than just revenue, right? So what does that mean? If you build goodwill in the market, which again is value, you're providing value to the market. And how do you provide value? You drop valuable content and trainings that you give to the market. That compounds quicker than any Stripe number that you have right now, right? And building goodwill in the market is exponential, and this is why it's important. Because once it happens, you'll build a long-term, sustainable acquisition system for your agency, right? We're talking long-term, like 2, 3, 5 years down the line. When you build an actual brand, that's what lasts around. That's what stays for 2, 3, 5 years. Right. And this is the best thing, is that it doesn't rely on making crazier offers or crazier guarantees that just make it harder for you on fulfillment. And it doesn't rely on you having to start over every month to start hunting for new sales. And this is one of the things I realized is there's a reality where you don't have to every month chase after new prospects that have never heard of you and try to shove an offer down their throat and get them to buy. Like that doesn't have to be the case. You can have every month prospects that are warmed up from your content and you just keep dropping content, and every month there's just inbound leads waiting for you to sell. Like they're wanting to be sold, because you've been providing value to the market. You've been building goodwill. And what did I say? Or what did Alex Hormozi say? Building goodwill compounds faster than any sort of revenue level, right? So if you continue dropping value, that will compound. They'll tell their friends. More people will start to come into your ecosystem, and they'll be watching your content. And month after month, you're going to have more and more people going through your content, watching your content, seeing you, knowing, like, and trusting you, and then eventually buying. And the best thing is that they're the best type of clients, right? Another problem is like not having to rely on, again, selling cold prospects who have no idea who you are. You're going to get people coming inbound to you. They've gone through your content, and they're wanting to buy from you. All right, so this is what we want to do, right? And this is kind of like the high level overview of what we're going to be doing here, which is we're going to flood your calendar with qualified sales prospects. That's the very first thing. Only qualified, ideal candidates that come inbound to you, and we flood our calendar by showing you this process here. Right, we collect more cash and more pay in fulls and charge higher without having to make crazy offers because they went through our content, because they know, like, and trust us, and we're not just some random stranger that came from the cold emails. You're going to be able to close more deals and be more aligned with your sales process, provide value first, and have people come to you who are wanting to buy. So no longer having to hop on sales call with people that don't want to buy, that have no idea who you are, and no more like having to force people. Like, I think a lot of the sales tactics out there right now of like how to persuade people, I think the foundation is wrong. Like, if they don't want to buy and they don't have any idea who you are and you're forcing an offer down their throat, doesn't matter how good you are at sales, like, they don't want to buy, right? And so, and they don't want to buy because you haven't provided value. You haven't been able to build goodwill in the market. And so why would they buy from you, right? And so we want to change that. We want to build a farm of buyers, right? A farm of prospects who are all bought into you and your company, and they know, like, and trust you again, right? And then you nurture the leads that you have now, right? So all the people in your ecosystem now, you nurture them properly and you have them compound your marketing and sales efforts, right? So you're not just like having to start over every month, but if you do the nurturing process right, which is the middle of funnel, and you make sure that everyone that is entering your ecosystem actually goes through your content, goes through your long form trainings, receives value, and then you have a proper way for them to be able to convert, then you'll be able to compound your marketing and sales. And at the end of the day, like, increase profitability, right? Like, we're all trying to lower our cost per acquisition. We're all trying to find a better way to alleviate stress and pressure on sales and marketing and just have a more aligned and smooth sales process. And I'm telling you guys right now, it is possible. It is possible, but it is not possible with cold emails and cold DMs. Okay, so let's just get straight to the point. What do you do about it, and what are the tactical steps that you could do in order to implement this for your agency? All right, this is what I believe is the new way to go with the agency space, and it doesn't have to be long. Like, there's a belief, you might have a belief that content takes a while, not in the way that we're doing. Right, the only thing that you need right here is going to be your own Instagram and Facebook page, where you're going to be attracting all of your prospects. A community platform, right? So this could be somewhere where you can drop long form trainings. So every time you drop a long form training, like you guys are watching this video right now, probably on YouTube, right? And so this is basically my platform. Every time I drop a banger or a long form content, you guys are watching it, right? And so it's a platform that can continually drop content, and I can have this video go out to, let's say this is a 20-minute video, and let's say 500 people view it. Well, that's 500 times 20. That's like, what is that? 500 times 20. That's 1,000. 10,000. It's either 1,000 or 10,000. It's too early in the morning to think about that. Minutes that people are watching, and I only recorded this once. Right? This is why you need an ecosystem. This is why you need to have the traffic coming in from your Instagram and Facebook page, having a proper ecosystem so that you can leverage content and nurture people at scale, which is why we call it the leverage salesman, right? And then you have appointment setters follow up with all the people that are coming in. So all the people that watch my YouTube, I know who you guys are, right? I know who's warm, and I will have our appointment setters reach out to you to set up an appointment because you're warm. You've been watching my content. You've watched 3, 4, 5 hours of my content. You want to buy. And so my appointment setters will reach out and just set up a conversation so that you can talk to me about how we can help you grow your agency, right? Again, what I was saying in the very beginning is that we don't want to just rely on organic, right? We can if it's the only thing that you have to do, but it's most likely not for you. But it's not like you have to spend like $5,000, $10,000 on ads. Like, we're just talking about like $1,000, $2,000 on ads to get more people into your ecosystem, right? And then from there, you'll be able to nurture them and be able to set appointments and close. And then you just need Loom, like literally this right here, where I'm recording videos and recording trainings, long form bangers, and that's all you really need, right? So this funnel is broken down into 3 steps: top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel, right? And just to give you guys, we're doing this with a client right now. Zach, he did a webinar, which is the middle funnel, and we had we only had, like, this is the first round, so we only had 15 people hop on. These are 15 doctors that were hopping on, and they watched 2 hours of him going through a webinar. 2 hours, right? And one person bought for, what did he say, $4,450, so about $5,000, $4,500. So he got $4,500 cash collected for 2 hours of his time. But the more important thing is that he has another sales call and probably 2 other buyers that are going to come from that. But they had 75 people register from his ecosystem for this webinar, right? And now he has a 2-hour long form content. He's been able to talk to 15 people for 2 hours, right? In a leveraged way where it's not one-to-one. If he had to talk to all 15 people for 2 hours and provide them value, that would have been 30 hours of his time. Instead, it was only 2 hours of his time. But he's able to nurture 15 people live, and now probably another 75 that registered will go through the 2 hours of his replay. And now he's been able to do 150 hours plus for only 2 hours of his time. And the thing is, back to the whole point that Alex Ramosi was saying, was that he's building goodwill and it's compounding. This is how it compounds, right? When you're able to drop content like this and actually make it good and actually make it valuable, the goodwill that you're building into market now is, you make one piece of content for 2 hours. That goes out to 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. For the same amount of time, you're compounding goodwill and value in the market. And now you're getting 3,000 hours watched for 2 hours of your time. And this is how you can leverage attention and content. And this is the direction that we're headed in, right? Top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel. And this is how we do it. All right. And hopefully some things are clicking. Like, I hope you guys can see, like, you cannot do this with cold emails. You cannot do this with cold DMs, right? You need to have a system in place. I'm going to show you guys the system now. All right, guys. So this is the entire funnel. And I'm going to be, in the next couple of days, just like making this a lot more in depth so you guys can visually see what we're doing with our clients, so you can kind of get an idea. But again, top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel. What I just showed you there with Zach, with how he did a webinar, that idea is in the middle of funnel. So this is everybody that enters the ecosystem, right? And our goal is that, the example I gave you guys there, if Zach was able to have 100 people in that webinar, for the same 2 hours of his time, he would have had 80 more people go through 2 hours of his content for the same amount of time, right? And so the leverage point here is just getting more people into our ecosystem. And this is where most people are going wrong, right? They're running direct to offer or cold emails, and they're not building an actual ecosystem where people can come in, right? More people can come in, right? Because when you're just targeting direct to offer, you're only targeting the 3% of the market that's ready to buy. But yet there's 97% of the market that still needs your help, and they're going to buy at some point, right? And it's just thinking long term. And the people that are able to think like this, where it's like, okay, there's still 95% of people that are my ideal prospects or are in my market, in my niche, and I just need to provide value for them. And when they're ready, they'll come to me because I was the one that took that approach, right? But most agency owners are not thinking that. And that's why they're doing direct to offer, and they're saying a high cost per lead, high cost per call, high cost per acquisition, and then just short term. Every month they have to start over, right? Whereas we're running a DM ad to add value, like DM me to get our sales script for chiropractors, right? And then we're running this right now, which is a lead magnet, which is, see how we help this doctor go from 30K to 100K a month. There's a free case study video, right? And they and so we get more people, like 95% of the market wants that, right? And then follower ad. If you're a chiropractor that wants to scale his practice to 100K a month, then give me a follow. Boom. And so it's low barrier. We get way more people entering our ecosystem for a fraction of the cost, very cheap. And we're getting people flooding in, right, with not as much ad spend that we need to do. And once they enter our ecosystem, which is either following us or we collect their phone number and email so that we can call them, we can text them, we can email them to join our webinars. Once they're in our ecosystem, right, we use, again, phone number, email, and our socials to be able to get people to watch our long form content. And this could be webinars like Zach did. This could be YouTube videos like I'm doing right now that you guys are watching, right? You guys are watching 20 minutes. If you're watching this far, 20 minutes, you guys are watching, right? And this could be 500 people watching, 1,000 people watching it, right? Just trainings, long form trainings, 2-step posts. This is when we leverage more and more value, and we make sure that we're able to nurture people the right way. And then we have our appointment setters obviously follow up with everybody that's in the middle of the funnel. But this is the system, right? We get more and more people. This is automated. So you have leads always come into your ecosystem, fully automated. And then once they're in the middle of the funnel, this is also automated because you're dropping long form trainings. And you can also do weekly live trainings where you hop on with a webinar and just provide massive value, right? And the thing is, the content that you drop here in the long form content can come up back to the top of funnel for your marketing content, right? People can now, you could record a 2-hour webinar, and now what we're going to do with Zach is we're going to say, hey, if you want the 2-hour webinar that we recorded for neuropathy doctors, shoot me a DM me webinar, right? And so we're using the middle funnel back to the top of funnel, and then top of funnel goes back into our middle funnel until we have so many people in our ecosystem, and we're just compounding goodwill in the market, right? Compounding goodwill in the market, and this is what gets people to buy, and this is what allows you to compound your efforts and get a massive surge of people ready to go, right? And then from there, it's just appointment setter and then converting the leads, right? So let's say that we have a call to action, like in the webinar, at the end of the webinar, we just said, hey, if you're interested, after 2 hours of dropping value, if you're interested to have us set this up for you, here's the booking link, right? And we had some people book a call, right? And that will happen every week. Like we'll have more and more people after they consume our content want to hop on a call with us because we provided value, and that's what sets us apart from any other agency. And you cannot do this if you were to go against us, right? And you're sending cold emails, and I'm having people watch a 30-minute video of me talking, and I'm doing this every single week, right? And I'm posting stories, and I'm updating you guys on who I am, and you guys are knowing, like, and trusting me versus the guy that runs cold email. Yes, the guy that runs cold emails might get a quick sale in like 2 weeks. I could also make it a quick sale in 2 weeks. That's why it doesn't make sense. But his reward or his actions, his inputs do not compound the next month. He has to keep finding new prospects. And it's a very short cycle. And these are the agencies that I said will die first. Whereas here, what I'm doing right now is I'm taking a long-term approach, and I'm just constantly adding value. And what happens when you constantly add value? It comes back tenfold, right? And it compounds. So this is the bottom funnel, obviously taking a sales call, and the sales process. I can tell you guys right now, when I went from direct response marketing to value-based marketing, the sales call is totally different. Like, these guys are hopping on, they know who I am, they've watched 4 hours of my content, 5 hours of my content, and they're just like, dude, I'm ready to go. And when you get prospects like that, right, you're able to charge more. You don't have to make any crazy guarantees, and they're usually the best clients. So not only can you charge more, increase profitability, and not have to make any sort of crazy offer, and you attract the right kind of clients, that increases LTV, increases retention, increases happiness, less stress for your team, right? And you enjoy working with the people that you work with. And so cold emails, cold DMs, guys, like really, really rethink what you're doing there, and start thinking, how can you be long-term with your acquisition? This is how you're going to win the game, right? This is literally how you're going to win the game. And if you want our help with it, shoot me a DM. Right now I'm opening up one-on-one consulting where I'll literally help you guys set up this funnel, and you have one-on-one access to me and one-on-one coaching. This is not a group coaching. This is not a course. I'm really looking for a select few agencies that understand this and that want to implement this in their agency. And I'll consult you and help you one-on-one to literally set this up for you. So if you are with that, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. We'll have a chat. We'll just have a back and forth. If not, totally fine. I'm going to be dropping some heat the next few days, the next few weeks. So keep in touch for that. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.